Hello folks, Jonathan Milam here with a couple of great trumpets. I've got a Benge 4-bell and I have got an Olds recording. And actually, I think they play similar. They're both probably on the medium to brighter level and both excellent horns. And I'm probably far more anxious than you to see how the recording of them sounds side by side. Just gonna tootle around with Give Me That Old Time Religion. Phil Driscoll did it years ago on a great album, A Touch of Trumpet. And I still think of him when I play it, but just a great song, a little bit of tonguing, a lot of opportunity for improvisation, and we'll see how it goes. We'll start off with the Olds recording, and this is from the LA factory. I believe it was about 52. Great trumpet, Olds recording. And I'm playing this with a Reeves 42C mouthpiece. A little shallower than your usual Bach 3C. I think it's got a slightly larger drill size, 26 instead of the traditional 27. And here we go with the Benge 4-bell. My feeling is that the Benge is going to have a slightly lighter, brighter tone, a little more carrying power, and the Olds recording, it's just sweet. It is such a sweet playing horn. But I really believe of all the horns I've ever had, these are two of the, if I were going into a sanctuary, it was large, either one of these horns I think would carry so well and just really portray a good trumpet sound. Okay, you know me, I always like to not only compare horns, but then change things up a little and compare the horns again. Here I've got a very deep V cup. This is Trent Austin's TATF, Trent Austin's Trumpet Flugel mouthpiece. I think it's got about a 24 drill. And we'll just stick with the Benge. And I've always felt this, of course, is a very light bell. Great Benge horn. The 4 is a little rare. I did a review on it just about a week ago. Zig Canstill's creation, a little tighter lead pipe than most of the Benges. I think it's got the same bell as the 3 MLP, the 3X and so on. But I've always felt that light-belled horns were a little easier to color with the deeper mouthpiece or the shallower. And certainly a nice light bell here. We'll try it with a deeper cup V-shaped mouthpiece, and I think you'll be pleased with the more subtle tone that it produces. Boy, I hate playing a cold mouthpiece. Okay, great Benge horn. And now we'll go to the Olds recording, and again, a rose brass bell. So a little additional warmth there, but just such a sweet, sweet sounding horn. And actually, I found, just from trumpet stands, it dawned on me, this horn would hang up when I'm pulling it out of the trumpet stand. Not a tight throat, but certainly much smaller than most. And again, just going to enable you to produce a tone very effortlessly. I'm hearing a difference. It's a subtle difference, and that's why I did say they are similar horns, but I do hear a difference, and hope it conveys well over the speaker setup or computers or whatever you're listening through. Okay, now going the other direction, we'll take a shallower mouthpiece, and I am really not, for those of you that have seen my vids before, I get an F above high C. It's a great day for me. But this is a Reeves 42M, and so definitely a little shallower cup, about as shallow as I really like to play. And it's got an open throat. I think it's got a 25 drill size, so it does take a little bit more air. Probably a little larger tone. The M is usually a 27 drill, I think, so this was probably a custom order. Going to do the Olds recording first with the Reeves 42M mouthpiece. That, of course, was the Olds recording. And then the Benge 4 with the Reeves 42 medium mouthpiece. Okay, there you've got it, a great Benge 4 and an Olds recording. Lovely trumpets. A privilege to play them. Thanks for tuning in. As always, the thumbs up is appreciated. If you'd like to subscribe, it's mostly trumpet stuff that we do here on the channel. Comparisons and reviews, things of that nature. Comments on the Benge and the Olds recording. Love to hear your experience with the horns if you've had some. Questions, we always try and get back to them just within a few days. I do travel quite a bit, but try and check on the page in the comments and get back with you when we can. Take care as always. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, stay safe.